What is changing here, and what's going to be the impact?
Well, of course, if on the starting point here is that China has an unusually large amount of players across its hedge fund industry. So a lot of those are in the smaller end of town. So what the association there and the authorities are trying to do is essentially professionalize the market somewhat. They're trying to kind of get rid of some of the irregularities that occur with the smaller end of the market, which actually, incidentally, is also a very high-performing end of the market. So what they're trying to do is essentially limit the amount of smaller firms that are operating in the market. So what we expect with the rule changes that are coming up as soon as next month is that you'll have to have a minimum assets under management threshold of 10 million yuan, and that's kind of the base case. A lot of funds that exist at this point are smaller than that, rely on lots of individual investors, less institutional money, and what the expectation is that a lot of those funds will have to close. Now, of course, that has implications for the bigger end of town. A lot of those assets that have to get withdrawn are expected to be swallowed up by some of the larger players, which of course does include some of the foreign players in the market as well. So ultimately, what's going to happen in the coming months is kind of a realignment of the hedge fund industry landscape in China. It's going to change quite significantly. Now, the caveat here, of course, is that these rules are still in the draft stage. Lots of changes are still being worked through by the association in China, so things could still change. But certainly the expectation is, and a lot of those smaller firms are gearing up already for these changes to take place very soon.
Okay, so what does that mean then for all these highly skilled workers who lose their jobs? I mean, will that spark, I guess, for one, a war for talent, between those that are made redundant, certainly as part of that pool that perhaps now becomes available?
Yeah, well, David, as you can imagine, a lot of people, very highly skilled workers, will find themselves without jobs as part of these liquidations kind of get carried out in the coming months. So clearly a lot of those workers will be looking for new avenues, and some of that is expected to flow into some of the bigger players that, although they'll still have to absorb higher costs, certainly on the operational side, but also from a legal perspective, it is expected that they'll be able to absorb a lot of that higher cost. So one of the things that will change is that some of that talent will get hired into those bigger firms. But of course, there won't be space for everyone. So that competition for talent, I think, is something to really watch out for in the coming months as people look to reposition their CVs to stay in the market and/or look for other places across China's finance industry where they might be able to apply their skills.